Another submission you guys can connect to after the long step, it will be the high step over mounting going to the omoplata. So you guys will see that it was going to lead me to the omoplata submission. But the transition that I do is that I start with the long step, and when the person reacts with an underhook, I do a high step over the mount. So I'm gonna start long stepping. Every time you guys are, I'm just showing you guys how to finish with the long step position. But you guys can do any long step. I can do, with the grip on the collar, with the grip on the tricep. I can do a shin slice, then long step. You guys should try to use your creativity. And every time you drill a position or a technique like this, try to initiate with a different one, okay? So every repetition should be a different long step. Even if you guys are just doing some leg work before the long step, before you guys initiate, try to always practice that, because then you guys can continue, to add this like long step variations as a way to set it up, and then use, different ways to finish. For this one, it's gonna be the omoplata. So I'm gonna start doing a long step. So a long step. My opponent is going to get the underhook again. It's another option whenever the person is getting the underhook. I showed you guys how to do the top spin. I showed you guys how to do the front roll taking the back, where I told you that most likely it's going to be used for the no-gi. Now I want you guys to start switching. Look how I'm not going to come up to my tripod position, because here I get too slow. So I'm going to stay down on my hips. This hand that was controlling the legs, I'm going to start controlling his elbow. So this hand over here, my left hand controls the elbow. Now I'm going to pull the elbow towards me as my left leg goes all the way over. So I pull one, now my left leg comes all the way over. And I step over to the side. So look how I'm not trying to drop my knee on the ground. I'm trying to do a high step with my foot, and I'm using my knee to apply pressure on the back of his shoulder. From this situation, I like to finish with two different ways. So look how I'm gonna start. First one, I control the elbow, control the wrist, and I start turning it in, pretty much like applying the omoplata pressure. Another one that I like to start doing is that I start going under the arm. I extend his hand all the way up. I bring it all the way to my neck, and then I can start working on the straight arm bar. So I connect my elbows, and I apply the pressure. And then just from this position, if you guys want to connect the omoplata, I'm going to start driving all my weight towards my, the right side of my hips. So start doing this. Like one. It's important to keep, the pressure and the pinching during the whole time on my partner's shoulders. So that way he doesn't posture up. Every time you're looking to lock the omoplata, you want to make sure that you keep that pressure on the back of your partner's shoulder. So if I'm doing it from guard, and I know that when I see a lot of people, they try to throw the leg over, but that's when your partner postures up and they escape. So I'm trying to always focus on, I step on his back and I use the pressure. Look, I pinch my knees and I use the pressure on the back of his shoulder to make sure he doesn't posture up. And from the mount, the position we just did, we end up in the same exact situation. Look, I'm applying pressure. The moment I release to throw the leg over is the moment that he has the opportunity to posture up. Okay, so don't get, too greedy in this position. Keep holding the elbow. Look, I'm gonna come up to my hand. So that way I apply more pressure down. I control right there his back. Now I start sliding my left leg forward, all the way to end up in this position. So I go from having my hips towards him to having my legs forward to move my hips to the other side, all the way until I'm able to lock the full omoplata position. Again. So I long step, he underhooks. I'm not gonna go tripod now. Just gonna control the elbow, step over, and I apply pressure in the back of his shoulder. First submission I control, I switch my grip. Now I'm holding with my right hand his elbow. Start pushing his hand all the way in. Second one I go under, so look how I swim under. I bring it on top. I try to trap his forearm with my neck and shoulder, and I connect my elbows. And last one, I'm gonna start falling on the side of my hips. So look, I fall. I keep applying pressure on the back of his shoulder, control, and I come to my handle. Now look how my hips are towards him. I'm gonna start pointing this foot down. I free my bottom leg. Now I turn my knees towards my partner. Now I have the full omoplata position locked. One more. A little bit faster now. 1, 2. And then from here you guys can decide whatever submission you guys want to use. Every time you guys are drilling submissions, it's important for you guys to try to break down and see what component of that position, it's what locks the submission and keeps it tight. So as you guys could see, for the armbar, for the omoplata, you're always trying to use your knees pinching the shoulder to make sure your partner doesn't escape. For the armbar, to make sure it doesn't turn. And for the omoplata, to make sure they don't posture up. Every submission, there's a really important detail, a really important part of the submission that you guys are most likely gonna be pinching, or you guys are gonna be holding the position so you guys are able to adjust. You just need to make sure you understand when to do that. Otherwise, if you just see it like what it looks like and what the submission should look like locked, you guys won't be able to understand this important phase of the position. So always try to study. Put yourself in that situation. If you guys, like I said, if you just look at the big picture, I'm just gonna try to grab the arm, throw the leg over, and bridge up. Now, when I'm seeing the armbar as it should be seen, with every important phase and every important step, I'm trying to collect the arm. I'm trying to make sure that the shoulder's in. I'm trying to make sure that I'm pinching the shoulder with my knees. I'm trying to make sure that my hip or my feet and my heels are being driven to the ground, so I make sure that he doesn't come up, he doesn't posture up and stand up. So there's all, there's factors for the technique, for the submissions, they're all important. So don't see it as, the omoplata should be me locking a triangle over the shoulder and sitting up. Because you guys are missing a lot of information. And it won't work whenever you guys are trying to do against someone your level or against somebody high level. You always want to make sure you're using the right approach. You guys are using the right details, and the entire submission is locked. You guys are just going, closer and closer to the finish. You're not going from one position all the way to the full omoplata or full triangle, full armbar unlocked. You want to make sure that, you go step by step and your opponent has no way out all the way until you guys are able to finish the fight.